Okay, team, welcome to Level 1 Training, Coaching Section number 4. We're going to start building your very own online lifestyle business. In this coaching session, we're going to walk you through what to do to choose your niche. Hopefully you've put some thought into this already. When it comes to starting a business, maybe you already have one, but if you haven't, that's totally fine. Because today we're going to figure out what industry you want to get involved in, what industry you want to build and grow your reputation in, and all that great stuff. This is an extremely important step, so spend as much time as you need to pin it down. So I'm going to give you a few examples to help you think outside of the box a bit, which is important to do. A couple of things I want to do is really just give you some examples of our own businesses and some others out there that I've studied as well. But the first and most important thing is that your niche has to be based on your biggest passion or hobby or your biggest pain or problem. At the end of the day, this is something that you're unbelievably passionate about. What do you spend most of your time thinking about on a daily basis? What do you read books about? What do you read magazines about? What do you watch TV shows about? And what do you do in your spare time? And what if you could turn that passion or hobby or challenge into a business? If you've had a career over the last 20 to 40 years in some niche and you're one of the big experts out there in the world and you've got a lifetime of experience, that's fantastic as well. Wherever your area of expertise lies and you're valuable, that's where you really want to start, or at least that would be the easiest place to start. But it's not necessary. If you have something that you're not good at all and really want to get good at, that's another great option. And we'll talk about that in a bit here. And along those lines, what kind of personal transformation do you want to make if you could change your life in any way? What would it be? Maybe your health is not, where you want it to be. Maybe you're ready for a personal transformation when it comes to your body and your fitness levels. Maybe you're ready for a personal transformation when it comes to acquiring a completely different set of skills in your life. Those are also opportunities. In fact, that's really what has inspired a few of our business decisions as well. And again, I'll get into those here in a little bit with some examples. But that's a huge opportunity. It could be in an area that you're unbelievably frustrated. Where do you want to make huge transformation? There's definitely opportunities there as well. Right now, listen as Scott shares how some of our business ventures were birthed out of passion and problems to solve.
So what I want to do here is start with a few of our own examples. Rafferty Racers. One of my very first successful businesses was based on both my greatest passion and a huge problem to solve. I was a professional ski racer for 7 years and loved to coach kids. I'd even invite some of the local kids to train with me, and they loved it. Well, ski racing is a big weekend sport. In fact, my family no longer went to church when I started on the ski team because we had practice on Saturday and Sunday. I was not a believer, so it made little difference to me. In fact, I was stoked that I didn't have to go to Sunday school any longer. Let's see, skiing or Sunday school? That was a no-brainer for a 9-year-old kid who loved to ski. Now, as an adult and a new committed Christian, I set Sundays apart for worship and fellowship. And I knew there were a lot of other families that didn't like to pull their kids from Sunday school so they could be on the traditional ski team. So I decided to solve that problem. I started an after-school ski team. It would give us an hour and a half after school every day of the week, plus Saturdays. So Tuesday through Saturday, I created a ski team called Rafferty Racers. It attracted a lot of families looking for an alternative to the traditional Saturday-Sunday ski team. Hundreds of kids went through our program, with some becoming extremely high-level ski racers later on in life. Although I'm no longer coaching the team, it continues to this day 30 years later. CBO, ChristianBusinessOpportunities.org. 6 years into our network marketing business, I could sense things had changed. Sponsoring had become increasingly difficult due to the impact of the internet on the industry. Plus, we needed a stream of quality leads, people genuinely looking for a business opportunity. We knew all the other top distributors within our own company, and they all shared a common denominator. Most were very committed Christians. So it made sense to us to narrow our focus to this market. So I decided to use the very thing that made sponsoring harder to do, the internet. But there was one Big, huge problem. I knew nothing about it. So I had to learn many new skill sets. I had to build our own website. I had to learn how to get Google to rank our site on page 1 search results. I had to learn HTML and CSS. I had to learn how to write great content. I had to learn how to use Photoshop, iMovie, GarageBand. So I did. It took years of endless hours to learn all these skills. But the result was a website that connected us to Christians that were looking for a business opportunity. These warm leads became customers, distributors, and business builders. DSP. We had good success, and still do, with Christian business opportunities. But it wasn't quite enough to overcome the major changes happening in our company and the network marketing industry. Our income began to plateau and then decrease. We were determined not to give up the lifestyle of freedom that we worked so hard for. So I knew I'd have to supplement our income until things turned around. Because I had learned all the skills involved in online marketing and lead generation using the internet, I'd become very good at building websites that got top 10 Google search engine results. And I noticed that most website designers know nothing about how to get good search engine organic traffic. So I realized this was a service I could offer and begin a new business in the online marketing industry, to develop websites and online marketing plans for small businesses specializing in startups. So that was my angle, my unique value proposition. I wouldn't just design websites. I developed them to get great search engine results, and I'd guarantee those results. This business honed my online marketing skills even further. Now, several years later, the way to acquire traffic has changed again. What used to work rather well doesn't produce the same results today. Professionals in the industry buy traffic. It's that simple. Not that a site shouldn't be developed without search engine optimization to optimize those search engine results, but it's simply not enough to bring the traffic needed to make money. This eventually led to the system we're using here with Team Life. It's the same system you're going to use to build your online business and generate your list. I think you can see from these examples that all three of these businesses, and others I haven't shared, all started with things I was passionate about or that involved solving a huge problem that presented itself. Come up with the market that you want to get into. You got your passion. You got a problem you want to solve figured out. You've got your niche figured out. The next thing that is really the most critical is the need to figure out what your unique angle is within that niche. All right, so what we're going to do here is show you some more examples to go through, mine and some other entrepreneurs as well. Your unique angle is what's going to allow you to stand out in a very crowded marketplace, which, wherever there's business and money to be made, there will be a whole bunch of competition. The bigger, the better. So, how do you stand out? Well, you stand out by creating a unique angle for yourself and your product and your service. So here's some ideas to help you come up with what's missing from the current offers you see out there. What do you wish existed? What would you do differently? What would be really cool? So, from a Rafferty Racers ski team standpoint, what was missing with the current offers out there was a way for kids to be on a ski team without parents having to pull their kids from Sunday school, including my own. What do you wish existed? Well, a ski team that didn't train or race on Sundays. What would you do differently? Well, we'd train after school 2 times a week plus Saturday mornings. And what would be really cool? Well, if we had a big race at the end of the year with a champion who won a huge trophy, the Rafferty Cup, Christian Business Opportunities, or CBO. What was missing was a way to generate quality leads for our MLM business. What did I wish existed? A cost-effective way to generate quality leads using the internet. What would I do differently? I'd create a site that provided a lot of content about starting a business from a biblical worldview. What would be really cool? A site that was completely different from all the other online lead generation, work-from-home, get-rich-quick sites that populated the space. A site that Christians could learn from and apply to whatever business they chose to start. Now, Laurie has some great examples from others who really nailed down their unique angles in huge industries.
Now, I'm going to share some examples from some other entrepreneurs who set themselves apart in their chosen niches. Tim Ferriss started a business entrepreneur niche in the self-improvement industry. Obviously, that's a huge niche, and it's been around forever. There's thousands of people in the how to start a business or become an entrepreneur niche. We're one of them, right? And there's literally thousands of others and has been for decades and decades and decades, and there will be into the future. So, how do you break into a niche that is already full of competition? Tim's angle was the 4-hour work week, outsourcing, being a solopreneur, a one-man show. So that was his unique angle, and obviously it changed his life, and he became a multiple New York Times bestselling author. Georgia Pellegrini in Austin, and her niche is in the food and cooking worlds. Talk about full of niche with some serious competition, right? You're going to end up with everyone on the Food Network and the Discovery Channel, the Travel Channel, and all the cooking shows out there, and Chef Ramsay and the whole gang, right? So how many cookbooks are in a cookbook section at your local bookstore? Massive amounts. How the heck do you break in and get some attention in that industry? Well, Georgia did it. Her unique angle was modern pioneering. So this was her first book that she did. Then another one, Girl Hunter. But basically, Georgia came in as a young person onto the spoon seed and a woman and basically said, I'm going to make my niche modern pioneering, hunting wild game dinner, cooking with cast iron outside, going fly fishing, going camping, going hunting. And so she shows up basically looking like an LA or New York model, then puts a gun on her shoulder and starts killing animals and cleaning fish and, dove hunting and all that stuff. And that was her unique angle. And she's like bringing the pioneer ways up to modern standards and bringing those methodologies and techniques back. And that became her brand, her unique angle, which is unique, completely unique. Here's one more example from the clothing fashion industry. Let's say you narrow it down to just t-shirts. That's still a huge niche. How do you break into it? Here's what Life is Good did with their brand. They went from simplicity, stick figures, simple sayings, simple design wrapped around positive optimism. These feel-good messages and graphics make you smile, always an indication of a good, warm connection with people. Like meeting a stranger on the sidewalk who catches your eye, smiles big and says, "Life is good." Who wouldn't smile back? So these are things I want you to think about, and that's what I want you to come up with. We'll talk about that here in a second, but before we do, let's talk about competition. Obviously, all the examples that I've shown you are unbelievably crowded niches. So here's what I want you to remember when it comes to this. The larger and more crowded the market, the better. Markets without tons of existing businesses, books, blogs, podcasts, people, competitors, whatever it may be, is a really big warning sign. Health and wellness industry has a lot of customers. There's a lot of money when you run into a huge market. Hugeness that has tons of competition and lots of people making money. A really big pie, right? The health and fitness niche is what? $1 trillion industry? Or at least the next one. All you need to do is carve out a tiny sliver, like 1/1000% to make $1 million. But you've got to learn the skill sets. So super, super important. That brings us to your first homework assignment, which is select your market based on your biggest problem or passion. Then come up with 3 to 5 ideas for your unique angle. This is just the idea stage. Post them on the live Facebook group discussion feed so you can get some feedback and encourage your teammates. You can download our worksheets available at the bottom of Level 1 training files. When we move on to the next session, coaching session number 5, that's where we're going to get into the details of developing your unique angle. As you probably saw in the next session, you're going to determine your unique value proposition and your online value proposition. All right, so that's what we want you to do between now and the next couple of days. Nail down your niche and think of some possibilities for your unique angle. This will help you set yourself apart and make you stand out from the crowd. And remember, we're here if you get stuck. Just post your questions to the team. We're all here to help.